Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is General Hospital Edition. Today is Friday, yay! October the 28th, 2022. Let's get right into it. On a scale of 1 to 10, y'all know how we do. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 7.5. It was solid. Now, I'm not going to even lie to you. It dragged a little bit, but there were other parts in it that was so good that it lifted the score for me a little bit. First of all, y'all know how I feel about Drew and Carly. They're just happy to be together. She doesn't want to share him yet, so she says let's keep it on the low for a little bit, and he's okay with that. And then he leaves. I'm not gonna hold you long on that. Then Bobby comes over. I'm not gonna hold you long on this at all. Bobby comes over. She's happy to have her back. She's happy that she was able to give Virginia a proper resting burial and everything with the spreading of the ashes. And then she tells her about Drew. And then Carly says, I'm not a Corinthos anymore. I'm not, anybody I used to be anymore. So I was wondering, can I take the Spencer last name? Bobby's very happy for her to do that. Then we see Jocelyn come in and, talk to her mom. And so that's it on that, y'all. Let's move on. The next thing we see is Elizabeth and Terry. So they're sitting in the SUV. Terry is about to meet with Elizabeth's parents to let them know, hey, come meet with me. And while they're doing that, Elizabeth's going to, hey, mama. Elizabeth's going to be in the house so that she can snoop around. And Terry said, what are you looking for? She said, I'll know it when I see it. And Terry's like, okay, I'm going to try to keep him away as long as possible. So Terry tries to keep him away. And while she's doing that, Terry gets a phone call from work. And as she's talking to her job, she turns around and they're gone. I said, girl, you didn't get Elizabeth a heads up, because then we see Elizabeth is still in the house. She's snooping around. She's thinking about all her old memories with her dad and how her mom and dad were great people professionally, but they didn't pay attention to Elizabeth. And then all of a sudden her dad comes in, because when their alarm got tripped, I guess they just got up and left. And so that's it with that, y'all. Let's move on. So then we see Cameron and Jocelyn, and they're so happy. They're kissing and everything, and then they leave, right? So then they open the door for, because she's about to leave, and Finn is there. And so when Finn is there, he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. And he says, my mom told you to come check on me, didn't she? And Finn says, you can't prove that. So Jocelyn was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and leave. So she leaves, and Finn says, hey, this isn't what you and Jocelyn have going on. Did she spend the night? And Finn said, can you prove that? But Finn pretty much tells Cameron, says, can you prove that? But Cameron pretty much tells Finn, I like you, but this isn't none of your business. And Finn says, hey, I understand. He said, but I think you should tell your mom anyways. And he says, yeah, you're probably right. And he said, but she's gonna be through a lot going back to the hometown where her parents are in. And Finn was like, excuse me. And Cam said, oh, you didn't know? And he was like, no. And so Cam says what everybody's been needing to tell Finn from the longest. He was like, a lot of people underestimate us, him and his mom. He was like, they think we weak and we can't handle things. So they try to, do it for us, or, be our heroes to the story. And he told Finn, my mom doesn't need a hero. She is her own hero. I said, well, you better talking, Cam. I loved his speech to Finn, because honestly, Finn has been needing to hear this. Like, stop trying to come to Elizabeth's rescue and just be her friend and allow her to do this on her own. But I feel like Finn is thinking about Joss as well when he says this, because then we see Drew, after he leaves Carly, he and Joss go to he's there with Oscar. And he's just talking to Oscar and telling him everything he has going on. And then Joss comes through, and when Drew leaves, she starts talking to Oscar, and she tells him that she feels that she and Cam are drifting apart, but she doesn't know how to say it. She doesn't know if he can handle it, but we know that he can, because he just told Finn, people underestimate me and my mom about what we can handle or not. And I said, well, I'm confused, because Jocelyn, it seems like y'all were connecting yesterday and today, but now you're saying no, you're not, because deep down Jocelyn wants Dex, period. Let's move on. So we see Terry and we see Britt and TJ, and they're both talking about everything going on with Willow, and TJ said, I haven't talked to her, and he wants to know what's going on. He wants to know about her case and everything. And Terry says, you're not her doctor, but I will see if she will allow you to sit in. And he says yes, because he's concerned about her because she's not getting treatment for herself. So TJ is concerned, and we're gonna move on. So then we see Michael and Ned, and Michael and Ned are going at it because Michael and Ned are going at it because they're just both talking. Ned says, you're not even a Quartermain. Like, you don't take our last name. You're a Corinthos, and you're just like your dad. And Michael is like, I'm nothing like my dad. And he said, oh, yes, you are. But at this point, Olivia comes in, and she tells Michael and Ned to stop fussing. Like, she don't want to hear all this. And then Willow is like, where are you going? She said, to get reinforcement. So then we see Brooklyn and Chase in the bed, right? And they've enjoyed themselves. I said, Brooklyn, it's going to blow up in your face, girl. But they've been enjoying themselves and everything. And then Brooklyn has to leave for a minute. So when she leaves, Chase trying to be all sexy and get in the bed and, just be there waiting for her naked in the bed. And Olivia comes in and she's like, oh my gosh. And so then Michael and all them are still going at it when Olivia comes in, and she was like, no, never mind. Because Ned had asked Brooklyn, why you need 2 mugs of coffee? Where you going with 2 mugs? And they were like, why you going with all that food? Brooklyn, I'm like, girl, you really thought you was gonna get away with that? And so then Chase comes through, and Olivia said, I didn't, it's okay. And Chase was like, I'm so sorry. So then they find out Olivia saw this boy naked, and Willow and Michael are like, awkward. And so they tell Chase, come on outside with us. And so Brooklyn and Ned talk, and he said, were you afraid to tell me about Chase because of Valentine? And she said, well, I mean, that was one of the reasons. And she said that was one of the reasons she was concerned about telling him. But anyways, they just talk, and they have a nice moment in regards to her just saying that she wants Ned's support, and she wants him to end any type of family feud they got going. She really enjoys Chase, and he wants to support her. He wants her to be able to come to him and tell him the truth. Y'all, let's move on. It wasn't much with these people, to be quite honest with you. And that's when I say the episode was good at some points, and then at other points it kind of dragged. And these were the points where it dragged. So then we see Brooklyn talk to Chase, and she said, oh, Link wants us to meet up and everything, to be with his superstar singer, and he wants to meet up so you can do a duet with them. And he was like, any advice? She said, don't make us look bad. I said, Brooklyn, that is not advice. Like, you get on my nerves. It's always about you. It's always about you, sis. Let me move on. So then we see Ned and Drew, and Ned said they were expecting you back in the office earlier. He tells that to Drew, and Drew said, actually, I was at Oscar's, visiting Oscar. And Ned said, I didn't remember today was the day. And he's sorry about that. And Ned, Drew says, I remember how good you and Olivia were when Oscar's last moments and his last few months and everything. And, so I just want to bury the hatchet. I want to bury the hatchet, and I want you to team up with us and get Valentine out. And Ned is like, well, what's gonna happen to CEO? And Michael comes in, he's like, oh my gosh, you can't even do this with Ned. He won't do it. And so then Ned once again tells Michael, you always you don't even hold our name. Your dad might have been a Quartermain, but you're Sonny's son. You're Corinthos. And he told Drew, and you always want to play the nice guy and everything. You have this nice guy routine, but you just want to get things your way. And so then Drew said, oh, you tired of me playing the nice guy? Okay, well, I'm gonna show you who I really am then. And he said, we're going to go after the seat, Valentine's seat, and everything, because that was one of Ned's concerns, that they haven't heard from Valentine. And he was asking Michael, did he had anything to do with it, like get him deported like he did. I can't remember. Who did he say? What did he say, Jax? I don't remember. Anyways, And Michael was like, no. But anyways, so Ned is like, you wanna play the nice guy to Drew, and that's when Drew talks about, I'm going to go come after you and Valentine. And so then Ned was like, how you gonna come after us when you're too busy worried about insider trading investigation? And he said, what? And Ned said, oh, and remember we said this. Remember we said when Carly was buying up all those shares, we were like, "That's insider trader and trader, insider trading. That is a crime." And everybody was like, "No, it's not." They was calling it something else, and I was like, "No, that's not. That's insider trading." And the show tried to act like, oh no, it's not a crime what Carly is doing, but now they brought it back and they're saying, yeah, it was insider trading. Because I can't remember what it was where they were trying to say, oh well, she could do it and raise up the stock, but really, like most of the time, you can't do that. That's why Victoria over there with Nate needs to be having some investigation and consequences right now on the Young and the Restless for what she would, that insider information that Nate was handing off to her so that he could be CEO. But anyways, so Ned says that's inside trader. And right now, y'all, everybody's letting that fly under, but don't get too big for your britches, or we will make that come back to light. And Drew is looking worried, and Michael said, Ned wouldn't do that. He's not gonna do nothing or whatever. Just let it go. He said, but then Michael looks at Drew. He said, I could see you worried, but don't worry about it. I gotta go meet Willow at the hospital. So then we see that Chase had talked to, this was earlier, Chase had talked to Willow, and she had, he had told her, because she told him, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you as far as you in Brooklyn. And he's like, are you serious? And she was like, yes. And he's like, I'm happy for you and Michael. Hopefully your baby can call me Uncle Chase. And I'm not going to hold you long on that. Then Olivia comes out and she says, oh, Michael's in there talking business, so let me go and take you to the hospital. So Willow's like, okay. So she takes her to the hospital. And when they get there, Britt says, hey, TJ is also wanting to know, can he sit in? And Willow said, oh yeah, he can sit in because he's helping me with because she hasn't decided what field she wants to go into with her study. And so they were like, okay. And Olivia is looking like, let's move on. So Chase, Britt, and Willow go into the hospital and they're doing her exam, and Britt is concerned because she says, let me just check your lymph nodes. She said, they seem enlarged and everything. And so she says, let me give Terry a call and I'm going to hit you back. And so Willow is like, TJ, what is that? What is she worried about? And he says, if your lymph nodes are enlarged, and that means that it could be affecting your liver. Your liver can be is larger, and that means that you went from stage 2 to stage 3 in your cancer. And so it's very scary. And so when Britt comes back in, because she talks to Terry, and Terry tells her, run some tests, and by the time the results come back, I will be back in town. And so they run the test and everything, and Britt goes in and tells her, I need to run some tests. So Willow is already knowing that they're concerned. So then Olivia's at the hospital because remember she dropped off Willow, which makes sense now why they wanted her to drop off Willow. So she dropped off Willow, child. And Finn says, are you okay? Because she was like, whoo, she got woozy or something, or got a chill. And he was like, are you okay? And she said, have you ever felt like somebody was walking over your grave? And then she hears somebody say her name. And she turns around and baby, the scream. I said, you better scream like it's Halloween. The scream that she gave. And it was Heather Weber standing there. And she said, oh, that's music to my ears. I thought you forgot. I mean, you left my boy to rot in prison and leveled on up with that Quartermain man. And the police officers, attendees are like, I'm sorry about that. You can't believe her. And she said, LSD you. Heather Weather told Olivia, LSD you, I mean, see you later. I said, oh, Heather is something else. And Finn is like, what is going, Olivia, what's the matter? What's going on? And she said, don't you know who that is? He was like, no, who is that woman? She said, that's Heather Weber. And baby, I said, Pam from the Bold and the Beautiful, because that's Pam from Bold and the Beautiful. She said, I ain't got time for these having no storyline. Let me go on over here to General Hospital and get myself a storyline. Now, I did love me some of the original Heather Weber. That woman can act. But Pam is no slouch either. So I look forward to seeing her in this role. Y'all, it is the weekend. Don't forget to go out and enjoy yourselves. Be safe, be blessed. Enjoy your weekend. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will be going live tonight, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you Monday with all new episodes of What Happened on the Soaps General Hospital. Goodbye.